Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
Who am I? So first we have to understand that this is not a question. This is a journey of self-discovery. Who am I? This phrase was made very famous by Raman Maharishi. So people would come to him and he would say, who is asking the question? And I say, find out who is asking the question, you will have your answer. Who am I? So, can we ask this question? But it is not a question, it is a quest. There is a difference between a question and a quest. હું કોણ છું એ પ્રશ્ન નથી, એક યાત્રા છે. So, maybe you're the president of some club or chairman of some organization, right? And you're giving a lecture or a talk in the club or the organization. Ask the question, who am I? Am I this chairman? Definitely not. You're talking to your son, you're playing the role of a father. Ask yourself the question, who am I? Am I the father? I'm not the father. And who am I? So, this is an inner journey. Who am I? And it is the only inner journey. There's no other journey. So when we talk about self-observation, we are talking about this question, this quest within us. Who am I? Now, 3-step rhythmic breathing. So 3-step rhythmic breathing, does it lead to this question, who am I? By practicing 3-step rhythmic breathing, does it lead to this question, who am I? Now, supposing we want to breathe in rhythm, what is the first thing we have to do? First thing, we have to remember. પહેલા આપણે યાદ કરવું પડે કે મ્યુઝિકની સાથે શ્વાસ. So, the basic thing which we have to do is self-remembering. Self-remembering. We have to remember to breathe in rhythm. So, right. Then, if we want to breathe in rhythm, we have to break our attention into two parts. One, we are aware of our breathing. One, we are aware of the rhythm, the music. So there is double arrow attention. This is where the journey of who am I starts. So supposing we were to ask ourselves, okay, what is self? Who am I? Who called you? So try to understand I. What food do I like? How do I relate to my wife? Try to understand the I, the present I. So we breathe in this rhythm. And we try to make the rhythm as natural as possible. It is not going to become completely natural. We have to keep on remembering, right? But the whole, sanskar of remembering, the habit of remembering should slowly become very, very spontaneous. Now there are two kinds of breathing. See, I'm talking about this because, first of all, it's very, very important, rhythmic breathing. And because here we say Gurdjieff has given that you have to have a shock at the time of taking in the impression, right? And we have to be aware, excuse me, aware at the time of taking in the impression. And this is very difficult. Very, very difficult. So can we have something in between that leads us to that? And that is why 3-step rhythmic breathing. For me, I have studied so many systems. Maybe I can say I've studied everything that has to be studied. And there is nothing better than doing 3-step rhythmic breathing. Nothing better than doing 3-step rhythmic breathing. Because whatever yoga you do, if you can do rhythmic breathing 17 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours a day, you're through. But that yoga is not going to lead you to the truth, whatever you're doing. Right? So that is why it's very important to start practicing rhythmic breathing throughout the day. Now that this is the thing that he said, that you be conscious of the impression. Here we remember to breathe, and at that time we are adding a little bit of consciousness. And we are holding double arrowed attention. And it works for much longer periods of time than just doing self-remembering. Then as you practice this, you will come to a state where self-remembering will become very easy. The second thing is that breathing has other advantageous effects, right? Because there are two kinds of breathing. One, which, is in synchronicity with the natural laws of life. Jivanna je prakrutik niyam છે, એની સાથે જે breathing લયબદ્ધ છે કે એના વિરોધમાં છે. So this rhythmic breathing is very much in synchronicity. We can do other types of breathing. Supposing we are doing Kapalbhati, we are doing a pranayama. None of these are in synchronicity with the laws of life. We are upsetting the laws of life. Yogic breathing, all the 84 pranayams, right? They are not in synchronicity with the law of life. They are there to provoke. They are there to create a different condition, a different pranayam, a different direction, a different level. Yeah.
So why is a different yoga try to create that?
For a temporary effect.
To obtain?
Temporary effect. Right? Supposing I am feeling very repressed inside, a lot of anger inside, a lot of irritation and something. So I do a chaotic breathing. Then the upper layers of that anger, they sort of, I become cathartic. I throw them out. So there is some peace inside. But that does not change the pattern which leads to anger. None of the 84 pranayams can change the pattern which leads to anger. Right? But if you're breathing in rhythm, then that pattern is going to become weak and it is going to change. So this is the difference in all this. So I thought, because we are going to take this, the first shock is the mechanical shock of breathing, because Gurdjieff calls it only a mechanical shock. What I am trying to say is that my Guru has added something over here, that it doesn't have to be a completely mechanical shock. It can also include the second, that is the first conscious shock of being, of self-remembering. And we can improve the quality of the mechanical shock. Right? So this is, I just thought I'd talk a little bit about rhythmic breathing today, the importance of rhythmic breathing. So this is one breathing which is totally in harmony with nature. Totally in harmony with nature. It is a part of our living planet. It is a part of the rhythm of the oceans. It is a part of that which the newborn child feels when he is born. He takes birth with this rhythm. Janmelo, Barak, a rhythm sathe janme chhe. Second thing, you see, we studied man number 1, man number 2, man number 3, all mechanical men. Man number 4, the one who is trying to bring his centers into harmony. And the biggest harmony has to come between the thinking center, intellectual center and emotional center, brain and heart. And it is through rhythmic breathing that the waves of the emotions calm down. Badhai je શું કહેવાય, emotions na તોફાન છે, એ શાંત થાય. Right? So as we practice this, our emotions will not only calm down, they'll become spontaneous. Right? It also affects the sex center. Right? Because we are very excitable people. Somebody insults us, we are excited. New movie in town, we are excited. Right? So small things excite us. Apante uttejit kare chhe, small things. Right? So the whole sex energy, because the breathing is in rhythm, the sex energy comes into a kind of rhythm. So we are not now easily victims of excitement. If we are not easily victims of excitement, we don't identify so easily. We are free of identification. And we said identification is the only sin. Ek જ પાપ છે, identification. Right? Just by breathing in rhythm, so much of energy which we are wasting in negative emotions is saved. And this energy starts opening up new functions of inner healing, bringing balance between the mind and the body, bringing creativity inside, new intelligence inside. So if we have practiced properly, a time will come where self-observation will become quite easy. We'll be able to observe our emotions. So just through simple rhythmic breathing, we can balance our emotions, transform negative energy, heal the internal parts of our body, calm the psychic nature, the thinking instrument, and we start a new journey of inner discovery. Now, as we practice this, every moment we try to remember to breathe, this is one drop in the ocean of consciousness. Again, we remember it's another drop in the ocean of consciousness. And as we keep on practicing this ocean of consciousness comes to a state where throughout the day it will give us a subtle kind of awareness, subtle kind of awareness. I remember in the very old days, I started doing Osho's meditations in 1973, January. Every morning there would be a meditation on Chopati beach. And then on and off we got time to meet Osho. In those days he was Bhagwan Rajneesh. And he used to live in a flat called Woodlands in Bombay. And so when I met him, he asked me, how is your dynamic meditation? Because it was a form of his meditation which we were doing. And we used to do it on the beach every morning. And so I said, it's going very well, but something like a thin thread of that remains with me throughout the day. This is what I told him. And he was so happy. He says, that is the most important thing. That you do your meditation in the morning, but a thin thread of that awareness remains with you throughout the day. Right? So, if you're doing this rhythmic breathing, a sudden different quality of awareness will come. My guru used to call this a meditative attitude towards life. You develop a new attitude. एक नौ अंदर नो वलन आज develop थी है. In a meditative वलन की. We live life in a meditative way. With this awareness, it will be very easy now to sense who we are. We will say, I'm not just this role which I'm playing. I'm not just a father. I'm not just a husband. But behind this role, who is the one who is acting this role? Can I sense him? Can I feel him? And suddenly we will feel that we are, taking part in some kind of a drama, as if we are occupying a hotel room. We feel we are occupying this body, and playing all these roles. We are wearing these clothes and we are playing all these roles. And if we can practice this properly, then within all of us is the real I, the soul. We will start getting glimpses of that soul. That is the only purpose of life. The only reason why we have come here, the soul has come to recognize itself. It has not come to earn money. It has not come to have children. It has not come to have a family. These are just net practices. These are just situations which the soul creates to recognize itself. It's not the aim of life. The only aim of life is who am I? Once this inner awareness, this meditative attitude comes in, then every moment in life will be joy. Now it will come with a kind of responsibility, because as we see inside, to those whom we meet, to those whom we relate, we will also start seeing inside. We will start seeing inside. And we will have to learn to be, this is a part of our training, to be impartial, to be non-attached. Otherwise, we very easily will, with our new awareness, start criticizing other people. Now, we must slowly come to a state that whatever we condemn in other people, we see within ourselves. So at that moment, suddenly we will not be attached to anything. જે દોષ આપણને બીજામાં દેખાય, એ ક્ષણે એ વસ્તુ આપણામાં દેખાશે. This is the unconscious and subconscious now unfolding. Light is going into darkness. જે આખું આપણું mind, unconscious mind and subconscious mind, હજારો ને હજારો વર્ષથી, for thousands of years, that subconscious and unconscious mind was in darkness. Now light is going inside. Prakash જાય છે. Layers will unfold, masks will drop, and we will see that even though we were calm outside, inside we had for years been holding tension, anger, fear, sadness, and all these negative emotions were vibrating in us all the time. It is not that you get angry. The anger is lying inside, and that anger at this moment is vibrating. It is resonating. And that makes my vibrational tone. That creates my vibrational tone. But now, because of this new meditative attitude, this new awareness, I am able to observe that anger. I am able to see that anger. As we change the anger, as we look at the anger, as we look at all the pain we have accumulated, God knows since when, and it starts dissolving away, they stop vibrating inside. Our vibrational tone changes. The whole vibration, we rise to a different level. Man number 4 becomes man number 5. From 48 laws, we go to 24 laws. So my guru used to say, that by practicing this rhythmic breathing, we slowly have a non-aggressive, non-interfering control over our emotions. Right? When I'm trying to even, you see, otherwise what can happen? I start self-observation, but there may be a passion about self-observation. I'm not relaxed in that self-observation. I want to move very fast. Some people are always in a hurry. Right? So there is self-observation, but the self-observation is not relaxed. But if you're practicing rhythmic breathing, the self-observation will be very relaxed. Very relaxed. Try to observe the breathing when we are sad, when we are feeling grief, when we are feeling sorrow. It doesn't have to be that, something has happened in our life. We feel grief and sadness watching a movie also. Right? Just observe the breathing at that time. Observe the breathing at that time. See what is happening in the belly. Stomach. What is happening. Immediately start breathing in rhythm and try to see the difference between the two. So use the rhythmic breathing in all situations in life. Right? Suddenly we are impatient. Kim jaldi tayar na thiyo. Right? Impatience. In a state of agitation. Right? Observe the breathing. The breathing will become short. It will become jerky. It will become uncoordinated. In the front of the chest there will be pain. Right? Immediately bring in rhythmic breathing. We are feeling guilty about something. Again, look at the breathing. When we are feeling guilty, the breathing is always restricted, as if somebody has caught us over there. Caught us over there, right? In guilt. Again, bring in rhythmic breathing. Because in guilt we feel, as if somebody is choking us. We can't breathe. As if somebody has put a big weight upon us. When we are feeling bored, nothing to do except video game or something, I don't know. The breathing becomes very shallow. There is an inner feeling that life has no meaning. Again, bring in rhythmic breathing and see whether that feeling that life has no meaning, the shallowness of life, that feeling goes away. You change your inner state. You move from one mood to a better mood, from one room to another room. So this whole thing about negative emotions, 3-step rhythmic breathing is a big help, very big help in our observation of negative emotions, in the transformation of negative emotions. Do use it, and you will see as we practice, automatically the negative emotions will start going away, and you'll start, as the breathing is in rhythm, we just feel a kind of love, a kind of compassion, kind of kindness. Everything will start opening up inside, which was till now blocked inside. And then we may get a feeling that we have reached home. We have reached home, right? Not this home, divine home. Divine home, right? That is the feeling which we want to have. Just as the feeling after a long journey, we go back home and we feel, we reach our divine home inside, divine home. If you are able to do this for even 4-5 hours a day, so many things in your dreams will start changing. You'll start becoming a witness to your dreams. You'll start understanding what the dreams are saying. Because today I want to talk about this movement of the octave through time. This 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. Right? And if you have practiced 4 or 5 hours of rhythmic breathing, then you'll easily understand what I want to say today. So, the mysteries of the dream world will start opening up. My guru introduced me to this working with dreams. I've tried my very best to communicate it to so many people, but people don't do it. They don't do it. Working with dreams. And he had a knack of controlling dreams. And once he induced a dream for me. In the dream there was another dream. In the dream there was another dream. I was seeing 7 dreams at the same time. And when I woke up, I was able to recount all the 7 dreams to him. Simultaneously I was watching 7 dreams. So he had that knack of... So just 4 or 5 hours of practice of rhythmic breathing, the dreams will change. So many things will change. Dream in the dream in the dream. Can you see? I am playing a dream, I am a father. One dream. But in that dream now I am hypnotized by anger. Right? Within the dream there is another dream. Right? In that anger there is desire that he will change himself. The son will change himself. So within that there is another dream. So we live dream within dream within dream, and all we are identified. So little bit of practice in dreams at night, it can change the whole identification in the day. Now with the 3-step rhythmic breathing, do we practice the prism exercise? I don't think anyone is practicing the prism exercise. It is a very fast shortcut for higher awareness. Very fast shortcut for higher awareness. It helps us to detach from the senses. I am looking at you. I am seeing you, but now I can decide what I want to see and what I don't want to see. This is the quality of control over the incoming impulses, over the impressions which I want to take. I can say no to the wrong impressions. But this is the prism exercise, helps me to reach this state. See, when I breathe in, all the air the lungs does not take it. It rejects so much of air. Some rare gases it will reject, some other things it won't allow everything to come into the blood. But this the lungs does automatically. But when I have to take the impression shock, the same thing which the lungs, which impressions do I want to take in and which do I want to say goodbye to? Right? I get a thought that you insulted me. I want to say goodbye to that impression. I don't want that impression to come in my home. Right? If it comes in my home, then I am already bound in its karma. But if I can say goodbye to it, then I am not bound by it. Right? So the prism exercise is very important. If you can't do all 5 prism exercises, at least the first prism exercise. Right? Somebody criticizes me. So now I am defending myself. What you are saying is not true about me. Right? So supposing he is criticizing my role about lecturing you. So one role I am playing as a lecturer, within the lecturer now I am defending myself, so I have become a lawyer. Right? This is good, my name is Rajen Vakil. So just wrong breathing deprives us of so much goodness in our life. And just by breathing properly, we can bring harmony, keep so many diseases away, and be free of negative emotions. That's why I thought that just before I start today, let me talk about rhythmic breathing. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, back to the law of octaves.
That's great.
I'm going to repeat a few things. We have two figures. Two figures. How are the two figures? How have we obtained the two figures? One is the circle, that is not the figure. Right? Within the circle we have one figure. That we have got by dividing 1 by 7. 1 by 7. That is the first figure. Which is that figure? This one. 1, 4. 1, 2, 4. Right? This is that figure. Now, after we joined all the points in the circle, we found that 3 points were not joined, were empty. So we joined those 3 points, we got a triangle. So we got a, what do you call, 6-sided figure and a triangle. A 6-sided figure and a triangle. These are two separate figures, but they have come together in some symmetry. આ બંને અલગ છે છતાંય ભેગા આવી ગયા છે. Now, when we draw this triangle, we see this point 3. And this point 3 is coming between me and Fa. So we know that this is the first point of the first shock. But this shock is mechanical. It is mechanical. The breath we are breathing. It is a nature has given us this shock. Nature has. So when we are moving in this diagram, you will see on the right side or on the left side of the diagram, on our right side, it is mechanical. But as it moves to this side, it becomes conscious. It becomes conscious. Right? So this shock is very important, and we have learned something that according to science says everything develops harmoniously. Spirituality says everything cannot develop harmoniously. It develops in, there has to be gaps in which shocks are given, and it develops in this way, right? So nothing in the universe is a perfect harmonious development. There are always shocks on the way. Now we have seen the first shock is me, Fa. Now supposing we were looking at this shock in an ascending octave. Now this is an ascending octave. Do, Re, Mi, Shock, Fa, Sol, La, Si. It is an ascending octave, right? Now, the shock over here is between me and Fa. Between me and Fa. But supposing we are looking at this shock in our linear time, in this ascending octave, how will we see this shock? From 1, we go to 4. Right? So from 1, we go to 4. Right? From 4 we come back to 2, which should be over here, 2, right? Between that there is 3, 2. Right? Between 4 and 2 there is 3. Can you see the nature of this? Now we are moving according to this inner diagram. We are moving according to this inner diagram. I know, just try to keep, because we are so conditioned by linear time. We are so conditioned by linear time, right? So it's very difficult for us to visualize this. Just try to keep it on the side. I'm trying to take you on a journey over here. Huh? Right? And if you can think in this way, then life changes. This very thinking in this way. So what are we saying over here? That here there is an inner movement. What did we say the inner movement was? 1 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 8, 8 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 1. We said there was that movement. That was the inner movement of the inner diagram. Now, instead of putting that diagram here, we are putting it like this. We are putting it in linear sequence. In a linear sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Linear sequence. Right? So, we move from 1 to 4. Right? We are now in a linear sequence. So, we move from 1 to 4. 4 to 2. But what has to come between 2 and 4? The short 3. From 2 we move to 8. From 8 to 5 and 5 to 7, 7 to 1. Can you see this? What kind of impression does this give? What kind of impression does this give? See, this is the symbol. But when the symbol is being applied to our lives, it's going to look like this. You get it? This is the symbol which we are studying. But now we want to come to a state where we are able to start applying this to our lives. Right? આપણા જીવનમાં આને વાપરવું છે, ઉતારવું છે. Right? So then it will move in this way. What does this tell us? What does this diagram tell us? That it is something moving. It is not a fixed symbol. It is like something circulating. There is a perpetual circulation of energy. Perpetual circulation of energy. Just keep this in mind, what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to open up things today because today is the last talk. I can't give everything in the last talk, but just keep this in mind. Okay. Now, but when we put it in this, it does not have the same symmetry. Here it had a perfect symmetry. Like this, it had a perfect symmetry. Now, any symmetry, it loses that symmetry. Now let us again put here Monday. We put the days of the week. Now we put the days of the week here. Try to visualize the days of the week here. See. This we put it in the diagram. But this diagram, now we are going to move from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to Friday in our normal life. So we are now looking for a movement like this. Because now we are going in sequence. This is a diagram. Okay. It is telling us the law. It is telling us the law. Right? So we put Monday at the figure 1, at Ray, Tuesday at me, Wednesday at point 4 or far. What does it tell us about Monday? What does it tell us about Wednesday? There is a gap. Between Tuesday and Wednesday there is a gap. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Sare Ga. Between Tuesday and Wednesday there is a gap. So when we are planning for the week, we will plan for this gap. We will plan for this gap. I have not planned properly. Right? So what was the old sayings in our country? No one travels on a Wednesday. No one travels on a Wednesday. Now, we never knew why. Now we know why. Of course, I am traveling on a Wednesday. But No one travels on a Wednesday. So they would say, okay, Budware, na jawe. Right? It's law of octaves. Law of octaves. Right? So we do Tuesday at MI, me, Wednesday at Fa, Thursday at Sol, Friday at La, Saturday at C, and the new Do again starts at Sunday. Do to Do is Sunday. Sunday is the point 9 in the figure. Now let us go into this something in a different way. Something from Monday. We are at Monday, right? Now, in sequence, we are going from Monday to Tuesday. But in our inner circulation, that circulation of this 7 into 1, this inner figure, something on Monday affects something on Wednesday. Something on Monday affects something on Wednesday. Right? Now we have to see this in a different light. Come on, it's so easy, so easy, so easy. તમને બધું ખબર છે છતાંય Supposing in the old days, અત્યારની વાત નથી, 50 વર્ષ પહેલા, not even 50 years, but I can say about 40-50 years, when I was young, we can say, right?
તમે તો હજુ યંગર લાગો છો. ખાલી બોલો છો કે આ બુઢો થઈ ગયો, પણ બધા
એક રીતે સારું છે, કારણ કે એક લાઈફે આપણને જે જૂના આપણા જે બધા કથાકથિત આપણા જે બધા વિધિ વિધાન હતા એ પણ જોવાનો મોકો મળ્યો.
ચોક્કસ.
અને ઓલ્સો આ સાયન્સ સમજવાનું. હવે આજના છોકરાઓ જે જૂનું બધું વિધિ વિધાન they forgot, right? એટલે તમે એને સાયન્સ શીખડાવો, but they will not know what the elders were doing 40 years ago, 50. So somehow I am lucky, I also know what the elders were doing 50 years ago, right? It's just a simple thing. Okay, my son is coming out of his bath, right? In આપણે ત્યાં there is this thing, you don't wipe your feet. એટલે આપણે જે બધા હતા જે કઈ elders, they would never wipe their feet. Of course, Westerners wipe their feet, but if you see in India, till this generation, say maybe one generation ahead, nobody, they would dab their feet like this. Have you seen this? They would not wipe their feet, but all the elders definitely know that you don't wipe your feet when you come out of a bath. Right? You dab your feet. એ લોકો આમથી આમ પગ કરશે, you know, and સુકાવી નાખશે એ રીતે, but not like this. So if you're out of your shower and you have a small what you call mat over there, then you don't wipe your feet, you dab your feet on the mat. Now why is that? This is something which in India was in the Hindu this thing for maybe God knows since when. Right? Who knew the science? Who knew the science behind it? Right? So today I tell my son, but I can tell him the different science. I can tell him, don't wipe your feet. Dab your feet. Right? So I can tell him the science. Right? Your face is your fortune, your feet are your destiny. Right? So destiny means the inner destiny. Okay? Your destiny is to be divine. So that inner sanskar, okay, the divine is within you. Where is it lying? In your feet. That is why we fall at the feet of our Guru. Right. Can you understand? Right? But nobody knows that and they are falling at feet. Now it's stupidity. Okay. You see? So your feet are your destiny means everybody's destiny is to become God. Everybody's final destiny is the seed becomes the tree. And that destiny is lying in the feet. in the feet. Okay, right? So when I come out of the bathroom, I don't wipe my feet. Right? I dab my feet. Now, there is a science behind that. There is a science behind that, right? Or you see today young children, they wear those...
Any effects આવે?
Dab, એટલે you don't wipe your destiny.
Yeah.
એટલે જ્યારે અંદરથી divine fragment wants to call you from the beginning, you're not saying you don't call me.
Okay.
Otherwise, I rub away that destiny. The destiny, within this life, he is going to call 2-3 times.
Right.
Okay, you move on the inner path. અંદરથી cheek પાડો. એ cheekનું નામ તો આરતી.
Art. Yeah.
Arth. અંદરથી
Is
arth.
there any connection of water with this?
Huh? No, water no connection. But we don't, like you see today, people wear those very special jeans. So then they have to walk dragging their feet. Those special jeans and special chappals, right? We don't drag our feet. This was what ingrained into us in childhood. Right?
એટલે પેલા પગ ઘસડીને નીચે
Because the divine destiny is lying in the feet.
Oh.
The divine destiny is lying in the
deep science નીકળ્યું આ તો.
Huh?
બહુ deep વસ્તુ
તો
નીકળી.
સમજાવું કમ સમજાવું ભાઈ હવે
આવું દેશી રીતે સમજાવો બધા.
મેં કીધું કે બધા એને ખબર છે તો એ હસતા હતા ભાઈ. હવે મને દુઃખ લાગ્યું એનું શું કરું?
I don't understand why destiny lies in the feet. It could lie anywhere else in the body.
No, the fortune lies in the face. This is a saying. The fortune lies. Right. So what I make of my personality lies in my face.
Why not in your hands?
Huh?
In your hands, you could also have your...
Yeah, it is there. It is there also in the hands. But the divine seed, the sanskar, then there is something that lies in my feet. You don't look at the lines. Don't look at the lines. It lies in the feet. The divine destiny. So I'm just talking about old customs, but they had a science behind them. The science is lost and now the custom becomes a tradition. And then also people forget about it. Right, so again I'm coming back to the same thing. Same thing. Monday is connected with Wednesday. Monday is connected with Wednesday. હવે તમારે જવાબ આપવો પડે. Right. બોલો. Simple. Come on. Everybody has done this. Everybody has done this. So supposing I was supposed to travel on Wednesday, what would my elders do? They would on Monday take my bag and go and put it in somebody else's home. They would take my bag and go and put it in somebody else's home. Not answering. Not answering. Right? Can you see? So they knew this, they didn't know the law. They didn't know the law, but this was ingrained in them. So, but now we know the science that everything was not just hocus pocus, you see. There's a science behind it. Between Tuesday and Wednesday there is a gap. There's a retardation. So Monday is connected to Wednesday, which we call the future. It has not yet come. It has not yet come. So when we study this, we have to try to keep aside our normal understanding of time. Our normal understanding of time is past to future. So in another dimension of time, Wednesday is already there. It is not something in the future. It is already there. Right? Then again, Wednesday goes back to Tuesday. Wednesday goes back to Tuesday. Right? All this is very, very significant, especially when you're planning your week, you're planning your calendar. All these things can have great significance for you. Tuesday is connected to Saturday. Tuesday is connected to Saturday. What will it mean? What will it mean? That if I want to do something on Saturday, I will start it on Tuesday. So if we can understand this, we need a very different way of thinking about the law of octaves. Not our sequential thinking, everything in sequence. In temporal time, Wednesday comes after Tuesday. But in higher time, it is all like there. So when our higher centers start opening up, we will start perceiving time in a different way. આપણે જુદી રીતથી સમયને જોવાની એક આંખ ઉઘડી હશે આપણી અંદર. Try to understand that this has great significance, because sometimes something we do today has an effect for many years to come. Supposing you and I have a fight today, then we may not speak to each other for 10 years also. Understand? So suddenly we realize that for everything there is a time. For everything there is a time. If I want to start something new, I will start on certain days. If I want to close something old, I will observe these, gaps, these intervals. And it will give me an inner science of what to do. Right? So supposing I want to close down something on Saturday, I will start the process on Tuesday. And on Saturday I will close down everything. So this is the inner octave of the week. There is an outer movement from Monday to Sunday, and an inner movement from Monday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Saturday, Saturday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday. So if we can understand this, we will understand many inner movements in life. Many inner movements in life, right? Many times people come to me and they say, "Oh, Anna, I said something to him." Right? I said something to him. Now I want to say sorry. I want to say sorry. Right? So my first thing is, don't say sorry immediately. Then you are going to repeat the same thing. It is just a way of getting rid of tension, and then you will go and do the same thing somewhere else. Right? So just by saying sorry means I cannot hold the tension. Marama dharana shakti ochi. I don't have the power of holding. Right? Saying sorry. So the first thing is, I always say, is never say sorry immediately. Try to hold. Try to hold. Build your power of endurance. Right? Then I see the connection. Then I see the inner connection according to this. And I say, okay, you want to apologize, go on this day and apologize. Right? This is the inner connection. So this small diagram can change so many things in our life. So many things in our life. Now, also understand that shocks are of two kinds. There is a conscious shock and there is a mechanical shock. So I know between Tuesday and Wednesday there is a mechanical shock. This is the law of the week. Can I do something consciously between Tuesday and Wednesday to add to that mechanical shock, to change that mechanical shock? Between Saturday and Sunday, the final shock. Now, I'll just go through the shocks over here. We said food comes in as 3-8-4, Ray 3-8-4. I hope you remember this, right? it becomes Mi192, right? Then 192 is also air. So the first shock of, mechanical shock of air comes in from here. Both the octaves continue. Food becomes Fa 96, this becomes Re 96, air. And air stops at Mi. Mi 48. Food goes to Sol 48. It goes to La 24 and Si 12, which we said was sex energy. Right? This is the octave of food. But the breath octave stops over here. Here we have to give one first conscious shock of impressions. Take impressions in a new way. Then the air octave also continues ahead. So this is how we arrange the octaves, the two octaves, food and air, in the enneagram. Just to give you an outline, I put it over here. So air comes in at the right side as Do 90, 1, 9, 2. By then food has also become what you call Mi 1, 9, 2. Both meet together, Fa 96, Re 96. Air goes from Do to Re 96, food goes from Mi to Fa 96. Both we saw magnetism, and then they continue from there. Now here, impressions do enter our five senses, but the impressions are not strong enough to give the shock. The shock cannot be given mechanically. This is from this point man's evolution starts. He has to give the shock consciously. So both the shocks are of a different nature. One is passive. The air shock is passive. The impression shock is active. We have to actively do something. This means working on all the incidents in our life. All our relations with everybody else in life. Only then will we be able to give that shock. Please understand, this is an impression shock. Air is not an impression shock. So impression means we are moving beyond the five senses into a world beyond the five senses. Panch indriya thi atit jaye. We have to digest that impression. Impression ne apne ogadવાનું છે. Right. So this is very important. I just put this in the law of octaves. Now the final thing, I want to leave some homework for you. The homework for you. And life starts at the level of cells. Life starts at the level of cells. This is not the level of man. Man is at a different level. But the male and female meet. The first master cell is there in the mother's womb. Life is starting at the level of the cells. Right? Supposing we take the dough as the first cell, the first master cell, meeting of male and female. From this whole world of cells, this new dough will be the baby. Right? From the world of cells, something is projected into the world of man. Can you see? I'm joining cells in a different ratios, in different progressions, right? In different integrations, connecting them in certain way, and I'm creating something which is not just a cell, which is like a God to the cells, an absolute to the cells. Understand what there's a whole octave moving from the first conception to the birth of a baby. Right? So there is integration, differentiation, and we pass from one lower world of the cells to the world of man. Cells ni dunya mati, manushya ni dunya mati. What are the stages of this development? What are the stages of this development? Now, I want you all to try to name these stages. Tomorrow I'm going to name them for you. That's a C. Now, this is the final shock between C and Do. This shock is very easy. What will it be? What will it be? The baby starts breathing. So this shock is very, very, very easy. We don't have to go into that shock. I want you all to tell me what are these stages and what shock is this. This happens in the mother's womb. This happens in the mother's womb. Please understand, it is a point where something will differentiate from the world of cells to the world of men. Right? See if you can do this. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't know whether we get time, but we'll talk a little about it tomorrow. I'll go into a little bit about the conception, the movement from the cell to the child tomorrow. Right? Okay. Yeah.
This low octaves that we're talking about and the time we're looking at time beyond the linear, is this connected to the astrology time that looks at predictions? And is it connected to the palmistry and the lines on our feet? Because there's one science that looks at your palm to look at your destiny, but they also look at your feet lines as well.
That is these are all very incomplete
science.
This is a perfect science. Perfect science. Later on we'll arrange the planets also on this. Right? And we will see what astrological type, when he grows in spirituality, means he moves from one astrological type to another astrological type. Last year I wanted to take the centers and the type, but we just finished with the centers. So maybe if I can take the types, the astrological types, and how each one grows into another astrological type, then this will become very easy. Right? But then it is there.
Then would this also be linked to the yantras? You know, you get yantra shapes that you look at. So is this connected to this?
It will be connected to some of the yantras. Of course, the yantras are more like maps. Right? So the yantras have to be, this is not a yantra in that sense. Yantra has to be what you call seen in a certain way. Now, supposing I'm looking at this door, right, and I go out, and then for some time the image of that door, I see it on my inner screen, on the retina inside, but it is upside down. All of us have experienced this. All of us have experienced this. Now you're seeing some window or something, and suddenly you're moving somewhere, but that window is inside, upside down. It's not left you that way, right? So the yantra, when you open the yantra, you first have to turn it upside down inside. Right? You don't look at the yantra outside. You cannot study the yantra like you study a textbook. So yantra has nothing to do with this. Yantra has something to do with the process of inner study. So when you look at the yantra, you should be able to close your eyes and then turn the yantra upside down. Then the yantra starts talking to you.
What is the yantra?
Yantra is like a mandala. It's like a diagram. It's like a diagram. Supposing I'm breathing in a rhythm 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So the yantra will tell me the movement of the inner pranas, in which shape, in what way, when I'm breathing in this rhythm. Right? So I have a yantra. So if somebody is now breathing in a rhythm and he sees certain changes happening inside, he looks at the yantra, he understands the yantra, and he knows the inner map of what those changes are. Right?
What do you mean when you said earlier on, our understanding of time is only past and future?
Yeah, sequential.
What about the present?
The present, past, present to future. But the present,
What is the present?
right? But from the present we can move to a different time.
Yeah.
A different time. I'll just give you one more example on that yantra. You see the Shri yantra. Right? Now the Shri yantra was designed by Shankaracharya. Now it is not any gram. It's not any gram, but it is a map of the brain. It is a map of the brain. Right? So when you enter into the brain, there are 4 points. One here, one here, one here, one here. These are the 4 doors in the yantra. Right? Now in the yantra, there are 9 interlocking triangles. 9 interlocking triangles. 4 are pointing down, 5 are pointing up. Right? Now, the ones which are pointing down, right, they are of involution, and those which are pointing up are of evolution. So there is fall in consciousness and there is rise in consciousness. Of course, everybody keeps the yantra in their home, hoping they'll win a lottery ticket tomorrow or something, right? And then it loses its meaning altogether. I've not tried it, but maybe it's a good idea if you can keep it in your pocket and go to the casino. Just the idea struck. Good idea. Anyway, now when we think, thoughts are formed in a certain way. Those thoughts can either be involving or evolving. So now those lines in the triangle are telling us which way the movement is going. Now there are different centers in the brain. The major centers being the taluka, the ajna chakra, the sahasrara chakra, the bindu, right? So these are different centers. Now when they are moving in an involutionary movement, they'll be in a certain way. When they are moving in evolution, they'll be in a certain way. The point of the triangle will be the divine fragment. Right? And he's sitting in the top of the Brahmarang, right? That has to be opened. So the whole Shri Yantra is an inner diagram of the brain of how to open these centers, how to move the energy in an evolutionary way that you meet the inner divine. But first we have to reach there. We are still stuck lower. Right? That is the whole. So each yantra has a special thing. There's a way of opening out each yantra. If you work on your dreams and you can take the yantra into your dream, then the yantra is no longer a diagram. In the yantra, you're moving in the yantra in your dream. And suddenly it will start opening up. The yantra starts opening up. So yantras are something totally different. Okay. I'll stop over here. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna. Good night.